Hi guys, my name is Benson Kaczynski and welcome back to the final part of our 3-part video series about making a professional quality video on a zero budget. In this video we're going to be talking about post-production, which is the process of taking all the content you've created during production, putting it together and creating your final video. So today I'm going to be editing on my Mac computer, but everything I'm doing today can also be done on Windows, but I'm using Mac for the moment. So the most important part of post-production are your files, the things that you actually collect and actually record. And it's very important that you treat your files with the utmost respect. So when you're on the shoot day, it's very tempting to go through your camera looking at files and be like, oh, that was a bad take, let me delete that. Don't do it. In all likelihood, you will probably accidentally delete a file. All you are doing on the shoot day is collecting your material. Once you bring your files into your computer, you plug your phone in via USB cable or other method, always copy your files from one device to another. Never cut and paste or move files, because moving a file basically means you're deleting it from one place and putting it in another place. When you copy your files over, you want to keep them organized. So I've got a very clean desktop here. I know where everything is. This is very important because often your footage will come through looking something like this, where there'll be all these files and they don't have any names. They're not going to say this is the one of Deborah speaking to the camera, this is the one of the cat, they'll just be numbers. And so you need to be able to organize your folders in a way that makes sense to you. The other thing to consider is that you need to have enough space on your computer to do your project. First of all, you need enough space to copy all your files onto your computer, but the editing programs will generate files as you make your project, and that will also fill up your hard drive, so you don't want to run out of space. For most people, this isn't a problem, but as an example, this is what has happened with my computer, because this is a shared work computer with a number of accounts. We have all this junk on this computer, and it's a battle to keep this empty, or at least empty enough for us to work with. So make sure you have enough space on your computer.
But before we start editing, there's one other thing I want to show you guys, which is how to record yourself and your team if you are having a Zoom call and want to record not just your own voice, but the voice of everyone else in the Zoom call. So to demonstrate this, I have a Zoom call that is currently being held on my Mac computer, and I am joining this Zoom call from my Windows computer in the other room. Right now, I'm capturing what the screen is seeing on my Mac computer. Let's see what happens when I go over to the Windows computer. So on this Windows computer, I'm using a custom webcam, which I've attached to the computer, and I'm recording with a special software which comes pre-built with Windows 10.
On a Windows computer, you're able to record system audio and the audio that you are speaking into the microphone at the same time with a single step using a program called the Xbox Game Bar. Let me show you how to get to this. If you're on a Windows 10, go to search and type Xbox. Then you'll see Xbox Game Bar as one of the applications. And this is the interface you get. And this program allows you to record any program with your own audio and the audio that is being played by the computer. To make sure that you're recording, make sure that this mic icon is enabled and does not have a cross through it. The default will be mute when you start the recording, which is this button. Under settings, make sure that under capturing audio to record, you have the all option enabled. And that's all you need to do. Once you have started a recording will get saved to this gallery, which you can then find by clicking on the File Explorer button, which will take you to where your files are. As you can see, mine is still being recorded, but this is where it will end up. And that's all you need for a Windows recording to record both you and the other people speaking. You might be able to tell that the quality is quite different depending on whether I'm recording at the receiving end or the end that is
speaking into the microphone and has the camera. This depends on your internet connection and also the performance of your computer. In most cases, you won't have control over your internet speed, but you can decide which computer you want to film on.
So always pick the most powerful computer to do your recording on. Remember, you can also boost your internet connection by using your phone as an internet hotspot if you have mobile data available and a large enough data allowance. So, now that we've covered how to record on a Windows computer, let's go back to the Mac computer and explain what to do.
Now that we're back at the Mac computer, I'd also like you guys to see, if we're on the Windows computer listening to this, the audio quality and video quality similarly is not as good as it would be if we were on the Mac computer, which is recording. So once again, it's up to you which computer you record on. So take some time to think about who in the chat is most important and whose audio and video do you want to prioritize. We can see that on this Mac computer, I am both recording my audio as well as the audio that was coming from the other computer being received through the Zoom meeting. So to set this up on Mac, it's not entirely straightforward, but let me show you what to do. The way that I'm recording this is using QuickTime Player. When you go to QuickTime Player and go to File, there is an option for New Screen Recording. I can't show you what to do now because I'm using it to record at the moment. But by default, Mac computers can't record the audio that is being played and your microphone at the same time. To do this, you need to download an extra piece of software, which is called iShowU Audio Capture. Follow the instructions on this web page to download iShowU Audio Capture into your Mac, and make sure you download the correct one for your operating system. Once iShowU Audio Capture has been installed, you'll need to go to an app on your computer called Audio MIDI Setup, which you can find by searching for it in your Launchpad. This will open a menu which shows all the audio devices in your computer. In order to record both system audio and your microphone, you need to set up two new devices, which I've set up here. One of them is setting up a recording of both the microphone and the Mac audio, and the other is an output, which will make sure the output is also from both sources. To set these up, click on the plus icon at the bottom of the screen and say Create Aggregate Device. This is going to be our input source, which brings together the audio from the microphone and the audio from the computer. To do this, select Built-in Microphone and iShowU Audio Capture. These two inputs will now be combined and allow you to record both. Up the top, change the clock source to the built-in microphone. Once this is set up, you can now name this device what you like. I've labeled mine Microphone plus Mac Audio so I can find it easier. When you go to QuickTime Player and say New Screen Recording, there will be a drop-down arrow next to the record button. You can then select this new aggregate device that you've created, which will then record both your audio that your computer is making and the audio that is being captured by the microphone. The multi-output device option I've created here is only if you are using an external microphone other than the built-in microphone of the laptop, which you may require if you have a desktop iMac. If you need more information about how to set up these alternative audio devices, check out the tutorial on YouTube by Michael Kinney. There are many other tutorials on YouTube which overview this process, so check them out if you find yourself getting lost. And that's pretty much all there is to it. You should be able to record both your voice and the voice of others in a video conference. With this covered, let's continue with the rest of the video.
Before we begin editing, we need to consider the things that you haven't collected, the footage and stuff which you don't have, which is often music, images, or clip art, which most people on a zero budget don't create themselves. We don't have a music team, we don't have graphic artists who are creating clip art for us, so we need to find those things ourselves. Thankfully, there's a huge range of online libraries which allow you to search for images, audio, and illustrations that are entirely free, either with or without attribution. So let's have a look at this website called unsplash.com. Typed in clouds, and already I have a huge selection of free cloud images. All of them are very high resolution, can be downloaded free, and don't need attribution. Another website, pexels.com. Here we see I've also searched for clouds. Once again, a free download, high resolution available, and you don't need to attribute the author, which is very useful if you need to create a project quickly. Here's Pixabay, which is another site which has a whole bunch of free images, just the same as before. But Pixabay also allows you to search for videos, and these kind of videos can be really useful if you want to have a dynamic background behind some text, for instance. And once again, this is not a small range of images. There is a huge amount of content on here. Search away and you will probably find it. Cover is another website. Got some great videos here. Sort of a bit more personal touch. You'll find that a lot of these sites have their own sort of mood to their pictures. There's a huge range available, and it really gives your video a professional edge. that you might not have been able to get with your own footage. What about illustrations or clip art? Well, Pixabay has the option to search for illustrations as well as images. Some are a bit kooky and weird, but most of them are nice generic images that you can use in your productions. In either case, when you're downloading videos from the internet, make sure you know what the license is. And on most of these websites, there will be a link to the license, which will tell you the information. The stuff you're looking for is that you can use these for commercial, non-commercial purposes. You do not need to ask permission, although it's appreciated. So this means that you can use the images from this site for free. So this covers your images and illustrations and stuff like that. What about audio? Well, Free Music Archive has a great range of music available, not entirely free without any strings attached though. If you search Free Music Archive, you will find that there is this license feature, which shows the different licenses the songs are authorized under. If you search Public Domain, then you will be finding all the songs that do not have any strings attached to them. Here's a bunch of songs. As you can see, there's quite a few, but it might not be exactly what you're looking for. Let's click on one of these songs. And it says here, public domain. This means that you can use it without any strings attached, don't need to reference or anything. But there are many other songs available which have a Creative Commons license. And you can say under license what you want to use the video for. If you want to use it for commercial use and remix in a video, then you have these Creative Commons licenses available to you. Let's see what that does. So here we are, here's some sounds. You can click on it, have a listen. If you click on the song, you can see here, this is licensed under Creative Commons attribution. If you click on that, it tells you what that means. It means that you're free to share and adapt the song, but you need to attribute it. You need to give appropriate credit and indicate if changes were made. So that means putting some kind of text in your credits. And it's up to you to make sure that when you download something from one of these sites, that you are following the rules and that your final product adheres to the conditions of the license. Creative Commons, though, allows people to create content which people can use much more freely than having to license music or ask explicit permission. So now let's talk about editing. Obviously, there are many tools available for you to use. If you just have a look at some of the things on my Launchpad, we have iMovie, and we have the Adobe series of products, which are very powerful, as well as other products like Cinema 4D. There's a whole range of things available for editing. So how do you know what to pick? Well, really it depends on your computer. So if you have a powerful computer, then you should try and get a relatively powerful program. If you have a very simple computer, then you probably want to get something that's bare bones. So if you have one of these computers that really is probably going to struggle to run things, a good program to use is Shotcut. This is a very basic bare bones editor, which will probably still do everything you need to. And I'm not going to go in the details of how to use this program, but the point is Shotcut is a free program you don't need to pay for, and it probably will run on your computer. But we're not going to be using Shotcut today. I would recommend DaVinci Resolve by Blackmagic Design. This started out as a color grading software, which professional filmmakers would use to make sure the color of their shots was right, but it has since become a fully fledged editor, which is industry standard, used by professionals all around the world. But the best part, it's entirely free. It's quite incredible in this world of increasing commodification and commercialization that you can download this professional software entirely for free. Just go to the website, click on the operating system that you're using, and download it. So why am I getting you guys to use a professional video editing software and not just iMovie? Well, because I feel this gives you a better understanding of how video production works in the industry, if that's something you want to get into, and it also gives you the options to expand and go crazy with color corrections or special effects if you want to, but also allows you to just cut and paste, do basic editing as well. It really does everything that we need for this situation. So with that in mind, let's get started.